Welcome, everybody, to the Picking Pennsylvania podcast, episode 16. I am Justin, the Susquehanna Picker. To my left, it looks like will be eBay Ron. Joe, Hippie, is on vacation this week, somewhere up in the northern hills of Pennsylvania, I believe. He has no reception, so he's sitting out this week, and then Ron will be sitting out next week. So, to fill in for Joe this week, we have a special guest from the reseller world. You guys probably know her if you guys are in the reseller podcast YouTube space. Today we have Amy from Beach by Repeat, so we'll bring her in.
Hi, Penny.
Welcome to the show, Amy. From Beach by Repeat. So, Joe's off today. Hey, no problem. Joe's off today, so he's up on vacation. He just retired, so he wants to travel a little bit.
Oh, nice.
And then Ron's on vacation next week, so I'll probably get somebody else to fill in for Ron. And getting through the dog days of summer. Here's how unsophisticated you are. My light is coming through on the screen. How's that? Long day. So, Amy, how long? First of all, nice to have you on our show. Whereabouts are you from?
Thanks. Virginia. The southeast of Virginia. Yeah.
I knew that. I didn't know if anybody else did. Once again, Ron, it always slips my mind, Ron. We always start the episode with a drink of the day. So you don't have to have a drink. Today I'm keeping it non-alcoholic. So what do you drink today, Ron?
Same thing as last week. Grape Monster.
So on my way home from my normal job, I stopped at Sheetz, and I thought I would try the same thing. So I don't.
Oh, nice!
That Wawa looks like it's about open soon.
What you got there, Amy?
I can't have my vodka soda.
You can. I drink pretty heavily on this show most weeks.
Water. It's just water, but I do have coffee.
Double fisting over there. Normally I do. Yeah. We're going to trivia down at our local grill tonight, so I'll probably partake in some beverages down there tonight. It's like, I don't want to show up half wasted, so I thought I'd hold out. The Wawa's coming along pretty good down there, Ron. Wawa's a convenience store. I don't know if you have them down there in Virginia, Amy. Mostly Philadelphia-based area. We deal with a lot of Sheets up here in our area, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wawa is my favorite. I love it.
So Amy's from Virginia, and how long have you been reselling?
About 4 years, pretty much.
Now, was that always full-time, or did you start part-time and move into full-time, or?
Yeah, I started, it was just like not a fluke, because I used to sell like in the early 2000s, like just stuff from my house. But then I came across something in the thrift store that was like vintage. It was like a pencil sharpener or whatever. And I remember seeing it going, I bet you this is worth something. And of course I sold it, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm hooked. I'm in it. So yeah,
I
do it full time.
I've never taken heroin, but I would, from what I hear, reselling on eBay is like heroin. It's addictive from the first hit.
I'm already hooked.
Yes.
That's all you need is that one item, and you're just gotcha.
I know it is. And then the next thing and the next thing, just keeps going.
Never stops. Never stops.
I know.
Now, do you sell just on eBay? Yeah. Do you sell just on eBay, or do you sell other places like Mercari, Poshmark, all that good stuff?
I would say I sell mostly on eBay. I sell the misfits. I sell on Mercari, kind of like everybody else, And I just started doing commons, Commonwealth Pickers thing. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then like my other half will put stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but pretty much just eBay. So
yeah, we're an eBay crew here. We don't. I I've messed around with Mercari and stuff like that. I just being a part-time seller myself, it's just easier to stick with eBay.
Yeah.
And Ron's a
totally.
full-time eBayer up there.
Yeah.
So
Do
he's our
you
eBay
dabble
guru.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I get it.
So what to you now? Did you start full time, or did you like lean your way into it?
I would say, well, I guess I leaned my way into it, but pretty quickly. Like it escalated pretty quickly. The more I started diving into like, YouTuber content and stuff, I was like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. Because I live in the biggest, like the most populated city in my state. So there's just a ton of like thrift stores and garage sales and estate sales and, all that stuff. So I can come across inventory pretty, easily. So, yeah.
So here's a question I'd like to ask people that we have on from different areas. I mean, you're not too far away. You're right down south in Virginia from us. First of all, I heard you just say they're garage sales, yard sales. What days of the week do they fall on in your area?
Saturday. What about you guys?
Friday, Saturdays.
Yeah.
Friday's usually better, but then again, all the good stuff gets picked first. So
I can imagine. When I hear other resellers talking about like, oh, it's Thursday, I'm going out yard sailing, I'm like, who's having a yard sale on Thursday? Don't people work? Like, do they take off work to have yard sales? Do you guys think that too?
We dabble on Thursdays here down in York County, Pennsylvania, which is like 20 miles from us. They start Thursdays, but then I hear I don't know if it was Alicia or Graham and Pops. They're like talking like Tuesdays. That's crazy. Like who the hell is having a yard sale on Tuesday? Like it blows my mind.
I get it. Yep, exactly. That's who I was thinking of. I was thinking of Corey and Teresa when they say we're going yard selling on I think it's Thursday. I don't know why Thursday, but I'm like it just blows my mind.
Same here.
Thursdays around here, it's all those are the I want to call them dealers. They have sales like every weekend. So when they
it's always the same house. It's always the same old lady pulling stuff out of her house. Like, not that address, And they're very deceptive. They always try to hide it.
Oh yeah, there's one in Paxton on Larry Drive or something like that.
Yeah,
always.
1 week it's an estate sale.
She'll put different addresses. Corner of this other street, or follow signs from Paxton Street,
And she's always trying to sell cemetery plots.
Yep,
she's got 2 cemetery plots she's been trying to sell
for 2 years now.
4 years.
Oh my gosh, that's the randomest thing I've ever heard of. Selling cemetery plots. That's crazy.
So that actually leads me into the next question: is what's the weirdest thing you've ever come across? You may have not purchased it, but what's the weirdest thing you've come across?
How PG do you want me to keep this?
We're a fair game here. There's usually curse words and maybe a few F-bombs. So
okay. So I have come across anime porn. That sold really quick, and I have come across I don't know. It was probably like a 4 foot tall plush, and it was a penis and balls. I'm not even kidding. I even have a short.
I've seen those, but not in person.
I've seen the blow up ones at bachelorette parties, but
no, this was a plush, like not a kid's plush, but like a plush. Yeah. And it was multiple. It was different ones, different sizes, like, a tan and a dark brown. And
I was about to say colors too, or
kidding.
just
just like flesh colors. So yeah. And I found what else?
Earth
I have,
tones.
yeah, those are the weirdest things. Yeah, earth tones. We'll go with that.
So Ron, what's the weirdest thing you've ever come across?
Let's see if this is going to show up.
Oh, you have
Oh, the glass eyes.
It's a prosthetic eyeball.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I picked up a
Wow.
collection of these, and it was an auction, and I think I bought about a third of them because I was being nice, and now I'm just kicking myself because I didn't buy them all. I probably made $25,000 profit on them.
Not bad.
stop!
Yeah.
How much did you
Ron-
pay?
Ron-
How much did you pay for them?
I think I maybe right around 1,000 for the lot, for all the lots together.
Wow,
Ron's our heavy hitter.
that's awesome.
He loves buying
Yeah.
collections. He likes buying collections now.
That's awesome.
If I had to ask the same question to myself, there's two I've bought, and I'm sorry, we're Hicksville, Pennsylvania up here, so I speak differently. But I bought human teeth before that have had gold crowns and caps on them, and had to smash the teeth so I could scrap the gold. Wife didn't like that very much.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I will say I'll answer for Joe. Joe and I, we both we didn't buy it, but it was over in Camp Hill, Ron. I don't know, by the country club neighborhood or whatever that's called.
Mm-hmm.
It was a feminine razor by a famous adult star called, I think, Jenna Jameson, I believe.
Yep.
And it was just there on the table, and it was just like a middle-aged couple and their children, and they had their toys on the same table, and this razor trimmer, whatever you want to call it, just sitting there. I saw it. Joe didn't get out of the car, and I'm walking back to the car laughing. I'm like, Joe, get up there and check that table out. It wasn't new either. That's to put it that way.
Oh,
It was rough. It was rough looking. I'm like, who in God's green earth would sell this at a yard sale on a table with kids stuff? Like, unbelievable.
that's funny. Should have picked it up. I bet it would have sold.
Oh, I'm
Jenna
sure. What a,
Jameson stuff?
I'm checking
Yeah.
for comps right now.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything like them.
I'm afraid to type it in my search engine if I go to Google. But trimmer. There's a
That's
Jenna Jameson
funny.
hair hot trimmer shaver.
Yeah, it's the first thing. Yeah, that's on
Yep,
Amazon.
that it's called the hot trimmer. It's on Google Images.
Hot trimmer.
Now let me get out of that screen before I'm
Well,
on
it's
some
good
sort
thing
of
you
list.
didn't buy it because it's only $8.95 here for brand new.
If I'm not mistaken, there was a $5 sticker on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably
Wow.
the weirdest things we've come across. So here's a question then for you, Amy. Changing topic.
Okay.
Now, do you limit are you a niche seller, like certain categories, or are you just broad spectrum, or like what do you specialize in, or don't you
Yeah.
specialize in at all?
Everything. I do everything. If it's profitable, I'll buy it, because I can't leave stuff on the table if I'm only selling like military surplus. I can't leave an axe on the table that I know is worth $100,
Yeah, that's how I am. I don't understand how people can just leave money out there. I don't know. I mean, you can see behind me there's a U-Haul truck, a inflatable, a Pac-Man board game, fuzzy dice. Like, I don't care. If I can make a buck off of it, well, I should say if I can make $10 to $15 off of it, I'll sell it. So I know Ron doesn't limit himself. I've been in Ron's basement.
Yeah.
He don't limit himself.
No. As long as I can pick it from the house, I'll do it.
That's true too. As long as you can ship it from the house.
Do you guys all live near each other?
Close, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in Harrisburg. Ron's probably about 15 minutes away, 15 miles away, up by the casino in I don't know what Grantville area.
Grantville.
And Joe lives in Grantville, which Joe actually, my brother-in-law, He used to live 2 streets up from me. So we are dead heart
Oh, okay.
center, Lower Susquehanna Valley, I should say. So we're convenient.
How do you say it? Susquehanna?
Several people say different ways. I say it's Susquehanna.
Susquehanna.
I know. Yeah, I know when people get up north, they Susquehanna. I guess that's more. It's all Native American tribes. The Susquehannock tribe settled in this region. So, but everybody around here says Susquehanna. We basically have the big river that runs right down along Dauphin County and along Harrisburg, called the Susquehanna River. Most people refer to as the Succabanana River is what it's often referred to. So,
I've never heard that.
Actually, I haven't either.
You never heard that, Ron?
Nope, never heard that.
Oh yeah, that's Shorty taught me that one. Shorty's our fisherman on the. He's our fisherman correspondent who likes to go out fishing. So he's the one who told me that one.
Funny. With Shorty, I think you can believe about 10% of what he says.
Yeah, he's definitely a wild card. Yeah, so our show, Amy, is nothing spectacular. Like we have our drink of the day format, and then our top 5 towards the end of the show is pretty much everything in between is whatever comes up.
Same.
So
shenanigans.
That's why I watched your content online, and so I came up with a couple questions that inform our viewers what you do and what you sell and how you sell and stuff like that. Did you get right into the social media aspect of reselling as well, or did that wait a while?
Yeah, it waited. I didn't start my channel until May of last year. So I just was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Why not? So I've only been doing it a year, a little over a year. So I was I had a goal in mind of I wanted to have, this many views, this many subs, like in a time frame. I didn't tell anybody about it, and I met them. So I was pretty stoked that I could do that, because you never know. There's so many reseller YouTube channels, and there's so many. So you can easily just get drowned in all the content. So I just did videos, and then I did a short a day, a YouTube short a day until I hit my goal. So that was a lot of work, but it paid off.
Yeah. I started about a year ago, probably maybe a year and a half ago. I have a ton of just raw footage content. The problem is I'm part-time. I work a 40-hour a week job. Also have a family and a 12-year-old son. So the winter time I kick more content out because I have more downtime. Sourcing slows down. But now it's just like, I don't have time. I got 3 external hard drives full of just picking content. Like I could probably sit down and do 5 videos a day for the next year. I just don't have the time.
Wow.
And I'm not paying nobody to do it either.
And I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
No, nothing?
Nope. I'm a retired IT professional. I'm not even on Facebook. I make a joke.
Oh,
I say,
really?
Hey, check me out on MySpace.
I don't have Facebook either.
I find Facebook to be helpful getting my page out there. I don't put a lot of effort into it. I never set a goal for social media content. I just like posting it. I like editing the video. Just get it out. If people watch it, they watch it. I don't care. You know what I mean? If one day it gets monetized, it gets monetized. I'm in no hurry. Not a goal. Maybe down the road it would be a goal, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So this leads me into a question. Like Ron's full time, so he doesn't have time. What's your store up to now, Ron? Like 5,500?
It's been nuts here the last couple of days, so I haven't got anything new on. Last I knew was just over 5,600.
Wow.
5576.
And like I can't seem to get above 400. I had lots of inventory, but once I hit that 400 listings, it just goes berserk, and I don't have time to pack stuff up. It just goes to the roof. But so my question to you is, since you're full time as well, and I can't go full time because I'm very lucky where I work. I would get a tuition discount for my son to go to college and a state pension. But if I would go full time, I don't have the discipline. Like, how do you find the discipline to schedule out your day? Like listing or packing and social media and all. Like, how do you do that?
Geez, that's a good question. I mean, I guess, shipping, I do it first thing in the morning because that is the one thing, that you have to do, you have to get your orders out. And I don't know. I guess it's just, once it gets to a certain not pile height, but once I have like a certain amount of stuff on this desk, and nothing else can fit, then I know that I just need to keep it going. You know what I mean? I wish I could say that I'm like disciplined enough to say, oh, I do, $500 a day, every day of the week, but I don't. I just, I just do it when I get it. That's what I try to do. I try not to have more than 30 items in my death pile, or whatever you want to call it. How's that? Does that help?
30 items. I don't necessarily have a death pile. Yeah. I don't necessarily have a death pile. I mean, it's not even an inventory backlog. It's just, I like to stockpile for the wintertime. So, I mean, now see me in February. February, if it's still sitting there, I would classify it as a death pile. If I don't get to February, it's shit. It's probably going to go to the flea market.
I got a huge death pile. And I got good stuff too.
Really?
Needs to get listed. I've got thousands of items I'm backed up on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to know what kind of space you guys have for your inventory and stuff like that. Like, do you have basements? Do you have sheds? Do you have a warehouse?
I'll go first, Ron, because you're a little bit more elaborate. So I have my office here in the second floor of the house, and our basement. I currently own half of our basement. I commandeered it from my wife. She can't put nothing there. And that's shipping supplies and racks of totes with my current listings on, plus my other stuff. And I have a van, which is kind of like always at 70% full.
Me, my basement's probably 2,500 square foot. So I've got a lot of room. My house has a 4-car garage upstairs, plus a 1-car garage downstairs. So like today I picked up a big load of packing material. So I just pulled around the back of the house, opened up the back garage door, and just unloaded straight into my basement.
Wow.
My other house had a detached garage. That was full. That was all eBay.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
It's funny though.
I have two rooms upstairs, like that are mine, and then I have like like an office downstairs that is for me, and then the garage. Like the garage is like the like inflatables and like Coleman's and axes, like that kind of stuff, the dirty stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm jealous. I don't even have a basement. I live at the beach. We don't have basements.
That must be nice living at the beach. My son is currently at the beach now with my in-laws. My in-laws have a place down at the Jersey Shore. So he's down there for 3 or 4 days, and I am stuck here working. And when I get home, I'm working. It just never stops. But, I mean, I do it. So, I mean, my son's education will be paid. I mean, it's kind of already paid for now, but in the future. So I want to be able, when the state says I can retire, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm out. Travel, do whatever. I'm not sticking around forever.
Right.
I mean, I'll still buy and sell, but I don't know what eBay will look like in 20 plus years.
Is that when is your like pension kick in or whatever? Like your retirement?
I actually just got my letter from the state. I am actually vested as of this week, but to get my full pension, I need to put in 20 more years. That would give me like 32 years.
Gotcha.
I would probably go sooner than that, though.
Yeah.
Well, you said your son's 12, so you got to stay there at least another, what, till he's 22?
Yeah. At least another 10. At least another
Yeah.
10. That way, Penn State, now if he goes to another school, he's taking loans out, but told him you go to any school in the Penn State system, it's paid for. So I can't leave before that discount. That's $100,000 discount. So
it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, especially by the time he goes.
Yeah.
So
wow,
that would be my biggest score ever. Taking that college discount from my job.
There you go.
That would be my biggest score. Have you had any major scores since what was your biggest score, Amy?
The biggest. I guess as far as margin is concerned, I go to the Goodwill auction, like in person Goodwill auction.
I was watching some of those last night,
and I can get those totes for $5. Those huge Gaylords for $5. And I paid $5 for this one Gaylord, and I found a bag of jewelry, and there's all kinds of gold, diamonds, 925, all kinds of stuff in there. I haven't even listed it. I've only listed 3 of the pieces, and I've probably made, I don't know, like $600 on those 3 pieces. And I still have like a 14K in diamond tennis bracelet that I don't even know what to do with. Cause I don't know how to list it when I don't know the carats of the diamonds and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It still is like in the box too. So it's just sitting. I've got all that jewelry just sitting in my office area because I'm not sure how to list it. And the other stuff that I did list, I found them on the websites. They're David Yurman and really known brands. So I found the actual item on the website. So that's pretty good. $5 into all that.
Oh yeah.
David Yurman stuff is actually hard to spot because many of the smaller pieces just have DY on the inside, like on rings and things, bracelets or bangles and stuff.
That's what this one did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what this one had, just the DY. But it was a pair of hoop earrings with diamonds around it, and I just sold those earrings a couple weeks ago. So that was great. $5.
I actually golfed with the guy. In our Thursday night golf league. He runs. I kind of given up on Goodwill, but is it Shop Goodwill, the online auction they have? He runs that program for Goodwill, and we had an interesting conversation. I don't want to share it all, but I was lighting him up some, you know what I mean? But I get his point too, of he's trying to make the most that he can for that charity. But the more he makes for that charity, the more he gets paid. So it's like, well, you're robbing from the charity too. Then you know what I mean? If you want to
so he gets a bonus robbing. If he gets a bonus if he hits a certain number.
He didn't say that, but obviously, if it does good and his ideas do good, like that whole online auction thing, then he got compensated very nicely for it.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I get it. I get it.
I was trying to strike a deal. You know what I mean? Hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Good stuff comes through. He's not on the front line. He's off his executive style stuff. So I'm like, so you don't get your hands dirty actually on the goods. So, yeah, he was an interesting fella. And he was probably happy to tank when we were golfing too. So
he would be a good person to have on your podcast then,
I thought I should ask him, but usually when we get there, when my buddy and I get to the golf course at 5:00 on Thursdays, he's already sitting there. Like, you could tell he's at least a 6-pack in. I was like, oh, dude, this guy is just. Could you be sober one Thursday night so I can actually approach you and maybe be on the podcast?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So we're about a half hour. We kind of usually run about an hour and 15 minutes. Usually right around the half hour mark, we hit our top 5 list. So this is a top 5 draft. We call it a snake draft. So 1, 2, 3, then 3, 2, 1. It just keeps going back and forth. So this week's topic.
If that's a sports reference, I don't know what that means.
I don't even know where I just learned it in like the past year. So, and I do fantasy sports, but I've never really heard of snake draft. So it just wraps around. So this week's topic is the top 5 tips for new eBayers or resellers, but to me, eBay would be the thing. I know over the pandemic, eBay got hot because they wanted some money and they were just selling shit out of their house. You know what I mean? There wasn't that much sourcing going on, so they were just selling stuff out of their house. But now I feel that kind of died off. But I feel the way the economy is, we will probably see an influx of sellers. What we have, but I think more will be coming to fruition. So I thought the top 5, I don't know how many will listen to this show, but the top 5 best tips for eBayers. And what we do, Amy, is we bring up the picker wheel to see who goes first in the order of we get to say our picks. Let's see here. So we'll spin the wheel and get our order going.
You guys are fancy over here.
I know, right? And look at that. She gets the first pick. And the second pick will go to myself. And then Ron. And so when somebody says something, it gets scratched off, and so you can't repeat an answer. So technically, this is the top 15 tips for new eBayers. So it is up to you, Amy. You have the first pick, a wide open board for you.
Okay, my earphone went out. My headphone went out. I couldn't hear you for a second. Okay, I got one. Let's see. My number 1 tip is to manage your inventory with like SKUs and know where your items are, because you don't cancel an order because you can't find it. Sound good?
Very good one. I just started doing that over the past 2 years, and it's a lifesaver. I don't know why I didn't do that before. I was laziness. I don't know. I will go with comp everything. If you're just beginning, comp everything. That way you have an idea what you're buying or what it will sell for, and you're not buying junk. Because then you'll be heartbroken when that stuff doesn't sell or something's wrong with it. So my thing is comp, and I still comp a lot of stuff. Even though I know what it's worth, I still comp it because you don't know when that market changes. I mean, you don't know. I mean, that glass market changed rather quickly.
Right. Yeah, I still do too.
Good there, Ron.
Well, I'm going to add on to yours. I get the question like this a lot all the time because I don't lie when I go to yard sales and things like that. I'll say, look, I do eBay full time. I'll explain to people what the comps are for a particular item, and they're always like, "Well, I saw it on for $500." It's like, well, I can ask $1 million for this little pen, but if I only sell it for 99 cents, what is it really worth? 99 cents. So to add on to what you're saying, always check completed. Don't look at active. Check completed listings in order to get your full comparables.
Yeah, I'll actually put that under be honest. I had that on my list. And for the most part, I'm honest at yard sales and garage sales. I mean, I'm not out there to rip anybody off. I mean, you may not like what I have to say, or you may not like my numbers, but that's how I come up with my numbers. We each come up with our numbers differently, you know. I'm not in the business to make $5. So if you want to make $5, you want to put 500 out to make $5, hey, that's all you. That's your business. I'm not going to do it, and I will let you know that.
Yeah. Yep.
So Ron, it comes right back to you.
Okay, and my number one, I always tell people to, if you're going to sell things on eBay, start small. Don't list your hot items yet. Always build your feet. Put on your $10 items, roll them out, take a loss on some things, but do it. Get your feedback build up. Now, once people see your feedback and they see you as a reliable seller, then you can start listing the better stuff. Plus, I don't know if eBay still does it. Back when I started, they used to put limits on how much you sell in a particular category. Like
they do.
You can only sell like 5 a month.
I think it's a dollar amount now. I think it's a dollar amount.
Yeah, I think so too.
So that's the first thing I always tell people.
So build feedback, which is a great one, because if you're brand new and you're slapping something on there for $1,000, I don't know. To me, it looks a little sketchy or scamish.
Yeah, you used to be able to sell, believe it or not, you used to be able to sell eBay accounts on eBay.
Sell eBay accounts.
Yep, you used to be able to have your account, you can build it up, and say you're getting out of the business, you can sell your account. I don't believe you can do it anymore, but what was happening is that people were buying accounts that had like 100% feedback and 1,000 scores, and then they start listing fraudulent cell phones and things like that. They put on the latest iPhone that comes out, and they got 10 of them available, and they'll sell them for $1,400 each, and then all of a sudden they drop off the face of the earth. So that's why eBay put a stop to something like that.
I don't understand how. I mean, it's not hard to build positive feedback. Like, I mean, I did get a negative feedback this week, but it was from something I sold like 4 weeks ago. But I mean, I'm still at 99.8% feedback. Like, I mean, how bad? What do you have to be doing to be getting such horrible account ratings? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's not a good way to run a business. So if you're doing that, you're going to fail. So build feedback, be honest, or I mean, they actually go hand in hand. Because if you're honest, when you're honest when you're selling, you will get good feedback. I will go with the number 2 on my list. Get an accounting software. If you're going to start, even if you're doing it part-time, you never know with that whole government $600, $20,000. It doesn't matter. Get accounting software, preferably one that pulls all your data from eBay, so it's less you have to do. If you're not familiar with running a business, you don't have to worry about it. The program does it all. I don't promote anything. I will say the program I use is My Cost Pro. I went looking for. I was with another program. They went out of business. They were referring everybody over to is it My Reseller Genie? But the price was a little high for because I only sell eBay. I don't sell across multi-platform. So I chose My Cost Pro. Basically, it pulls everything like the other program does, and all I have to do is enter my cost of goods. And I do enter my expenses, just that way I don't I'd like to keep up all my expenses, but it's not like QuickBooks or anything like that. It's just really. Let me see if I can. I don't know how to remove that. Stop screen.
That's interesting. I don't use any software. I use my what's his name? I use a worksheet from Not Your Dad's. What is it? Mark from Not Your Dad's CPA. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
I've heard of something. I've heard of something like that.
Hold on, let me look. Oh yeah, it's called Not Your Dad's CPA. It's a worksheet that I use. Yeah, but that's interesting. My Cost Pro. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, I'll see if I don't have really important numbers on there. If it is, I'll edit it out. If something pops up that should pop up.
I run my reports monthly, 60 days past, and then I put that in my accounting file, and at the end of the year I have my own spreadsheet I designed, and then I just give my summary page to my accountant and he does everything.
Oh, okay.
It's very small on the screen there. But basically, this is, my last sale. I didn't update it. I try to do it like once a week. Like sale date. Let me do. I'm pointing at my screen like an idiot. Like you guys can see I guess you can see my hands.
I do it too.
So like it just basically gives this sale date. It pulls. I hide some stuff because I don't want to see every little thing, but it pulls all that, your shipping, your promoted fees, and all that. It tells you your ROI, your profit. But really, the only thing you have to do is just click right there in item purchase price. What'd you pay? I paid $1. Sold for $9.99. Paid $40. Sold for $150. That's all you have to do is enter that $40, and it gives you a little breakdown. You can do all that good stuff like that too. But it's very easy to use. All you have to do is enter your cost of goods. So come tax time, what your cost of goods is.
Yeah. So do you guys itemize your inventory? Like, when you bring it in, what is it? Itemize or accrual or whatever, cash in, cash out? Which one do you guys do?
I have an Excel spreadsheet that if I buy something without a receipt, in other words, I'm paying cash, I'm out yard selling, I have an Excel spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. I just create a page. There's times I'll fill my truck, and I've got a big truck, and I'll spend $1,200, and I just put it on my spreadsheet. I'll put the items down that are the big ticket items and put in the amount. Mm-hmm. That's it. And at the end of the year, the total at the bottom, say it's $16,000, $15,000. I give that in addition to all my receipted items on purchases, and then just give the total to my accountant. He likes it doing.
Yeah, the My Cost Pro is really good because you enter your cost of goods. You could do the other way. You can input your inventory and have it in there as basically an accrual. I don't choose to do it that way. Because I don't want to log the inventory, because sometimes that's like I look at the pile, I'm like, I'm going to the flea market to get rid of this stuff. I don't want to have to go back into the computer and take it out. So, but you can do it with that program. I just found if you're only using eBay, that is to me the best program out there.
Well, I'll tell you a little trick that I do, especially on items that I have, a fair amount of money invested in. At the bottom of my page, I'll have seller location reference, and I'll put in there where it's at, or what box it's in. And if, say, for example, I picked up this big collection of what they call BJD dolls, which is ball jointed disc, and some of these dolls were $500-$600 each, but I'm paying $200 each. So I would put right next to the box number, I put a slash, and I'll put in 002. And that's reference to me. If you look at that number backwards, it's 200. So now I know I paid 200, because when I go to sell that and say I don't get an offer that I want to accept in 3 years, I'm not going to remember what I paid for it. Now, I sell 500 items.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah,
That's a good idea. I mean, I label my inventory as letters, so I could actually put that behind my letters. Like if I put it in tote TL, I could put hey, this TL003. Oh, okay, I paid $300 for that item. It's in tote TL, but at least that Ron's tip of the day.
Yeah, there you go. I've got 400 number boxes here.
That's awesome. I like it.
Amy, if you ever saw Ron's basement, you would have thought he was like some weird importer of bananas, because there's banana boxes everywhere.
Oh, they're all
yeah, banana boxes.
It's very neat. It's not. I shouldn't say they're everywhere like it's chaos. It's very organized. But we're like, Jesus, Ron, you have like 85 cases of bananas in here.
Oh, it's a lot.
Wow.
And we are finally back to you, Amy.
Let's see. Oh, tips. Let's see. Avoid avoid high risk or like high return items in the beginning, like electronics or video games and stuff like that. That way you don't have to deal with returns and getting scammed and stuff like that. That's what I did, in the beginning, just so you get comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that has to do with your feedback too,
Oh, yeah.
They'll see you don't have a lot of feedback and then they'll try to scam you,
It looks sketchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we actually stay with you then, Amy, so you have your third pick then.
Oh, that's right. Let's see. How about avoid counterfeit items? Like if you have any doubt whether it's real or not, then just assume it's fake and pass on it. Whether it's, like Pokemon cards or purses or like high-end clothing, like video games. I know video games could be counterfeited too. So
yeah.
I do that too. I still do that.
Yeah. Like phones. I can go to a yard sale and somebody's selling an iPhone, whatever. I don't even know what number they're up to. Let's just say 14. Dude, I'm not paying you more than $10 for it because I know worst case scenario, I'm getting $35 just for the glass. You know what I mean? But there's a good chance that thing is locked. Back in the day, you could sell them because they couldn't lock them, but now they're locked and you're screwed. Can't get into it. Unless you go back to that person's house.
Yeah.
Or if it's vintage. I do well with vintage cell phones.
Oh, yeah. Vintage cell phones too good. And old bag phones.
Oh my gosh.
We were at the 100-mile yard sale, and we walked into the garage. I bought something off the lady, but they had a bag phone there. And you know how that rubber gets that weird tackiness to it?
Yep.
Old.
Happens after 20 years. Yep.
I picked up the phone, and Joe's like, "What do you got?" And I let go of my hand, and it was stuck to my. It was basically just stuck to my hand. Like my hand was wide open when it got. And I'm like, "Oh man." We didn't come across a gas station for like 2 hours until I could wash my hand. It was so disgusting.
Ugh. That was my first cell phone. Was a bag phone. In my car.
My first cell phone, this is funny, was the old, what they call the brick cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know what they are, it's the old ones that looks like a brick with a little section, like a little half moon cut out. And I used to drive around, pretend I was talking on it, and here it was a fake phone I got from Spencer's. I think I was 17 or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And now that same toy phone is probably worth $100.
Yeah. Mine was the Nokias, or is it Nokias?
Yep.
They were indestructible, man, and the batteries lasted forever. All right, so Amy 3, so it's back to me at number 3. I'm going to jump around on my list. I'm going to go with a very important one. Withhold money for your taxes. Don't get caught at the end of the year and you don't have nothing to pay. Like, you don't go blowing all your earnings. Uncle Sam's coming. He wants some of that money. How much is up to you and what you did, but please withhold. For new people, you have to withhold money. It's not all profit. If you think, oh, I made $100 on this, no, you probably made 70 because Uncle Sam's coming for 30 of it. And on second hand, I don't think I want to do a whole nother topic on it, but withhold your taxes, but manage your expenses too. Keep track of expenses. That's less money Uncle Sam gets.
Yeah, if you're filing and you're itemizing with eBay, you got to pay quarterly taxes. Actually.
Oh, do you?
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
I
what
don't.
I do.
I've had too many issues with the IRS not applying my quarterly tax payments to the correct years, so I don't do it anymore. They screwed me too many times. It's a nightmare trying to get it figured out.
It's like I was talking to where I work. We hire seasonal kids, college kids, work where they work our door. They do some of our landscape for the summer. And this kid was door dashing on Thursday and Friday nights. I'm like, dude, are you withholding taxes? Huh? Yeah. Like, dude, you made $800 already. You know, they're coming for that. Like, top of your head, just take 30%. Be safe. Take 30%. So, you better come with take $240 out of that and just set it aside. And every time you do it at the end of the night when you're done DoorDash or whatever, take 30%.
Yeah, what you should tell them is take that 240 and go invest it in something and resell it on eBay.
Well, he was asking.
Yes.
He was asking. He was asking, but he goes, I don't know if I want to get into that. I don't want to have to go back up to school and have all this shit at my parents' house.
Yes.
Third pick for you there, Ron.
Let's see. I got a list here. Let me see which one I want to pick here. Let's go with volume. When you start getting into it and you like it and you're enjoying it and you want to keep doing it, now's the time to start thinking before you get too big. We touched on taxes, but now you want to think about getting a tax ID. You know, so now you don't have to pay sales tax on items that you're buying for resale. But if you're just doing it as a hobby, to get some money for a vacation in the summer, yeah, you don't need to do something like that.
You took obtain tax ID was on my list.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people don't understand.
Yeah, if you're going to do it full time, get a tax ID.
Yeah, I do part time and I got one.
And I think all the new sellers always do this, dumpster diving for boxes.
Oh yeah.
I'm too busy anymore. I don't do it, but I used to go to Borders Books all the time to get their 16 by 12 by 8 because it's considered a cubic foot, and they would throw those away by the hundreds in the back. And it was a great size box. Matter of fact, when I buy boxes, that's one of the boxes I actually buy, that size.
I always get a kick out of. I've been known to dumpster dive, but Jeff Foxworthy always had that. You might be a redneck. That should be a good topic. You might be a reseller. Because my thing is, we'll be just driving along, going down the shore like that, and like, oh, look at that box some people have out for trash. That's a good box. Like that would fit a keyboard. That would fit a keyboard perfectly. I should just swing over and pick that up.
Actually, when I'm yard selling and it's trash day, if I see someone gets a TV box, I grab it. That's one thing I do grab because it's a good size box for pictures, frame pictures, artwork, things like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. TV box. Like yeah.
Well, I shipped out this giant, I don't want to say giant, but this large advertising clock. It was like a pocket watch. It was what they call a trade sign, probably turn of the century. And I bought a box. What was it? I think it was a picture box at U-Haul. you remember what I said I paid for that? I think it was $85 or $65. Just
Wow.
for
It was up there. It was up there in price.
yeah, it was pricey just for one box because I didn't
Wow.
have anything that would fit it.
Yeah, I hate doing that, man. You see a good deal, you just buy it anyway. Then it sits in the basement because like I don't have a box for that.
Oh, I got a whole section just giant, oversized, weird shaped boxes. That
It's
takes up
funny.
room.
One whole corner of our basement is full of cardboard boxes, and my brother is he's a local fire. My brother is a local fire chief, volunteer fire chief. He came over. He came over one night to borrow a drill, and he's like down the base. He goes, "What are you doing? Like what? This is not right. Like all it takes is one bad plug, and this whole house is gone. You got so much cardboard down there."
Kindling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you break the boxes down, or do you leave them put together so you know the size?
The big ones, I keep them put together. I used to break
Yeah.
them down, and then I used to write in the corner of what the size was, so I could just flip through it when I'm looking for something big. Like I say, yeah, I saw a vacuum cleaner that won't break apart,
Mm-hmm.
or a set of speakers or something like that. I know I need something that's at least 36 inches tall. But now
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff, I have the room, so I just keep those together.
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I keep them all together.
But I literally have thousands of boxes. When I buy them, they're always kept, broken down.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. It's awesome.
See, look at that. The phone's listening to you. Look, which is notification.
It's too bright, we couldn't see it.
Yeah, one of your YouTube videos came
Yeah.
up as a push notification there, Amy.
There
Oh,
you go.
really?
Better than Disneyland.
I wonder if it was the short. Oh, yeah. I posted that
Better than
today. It's a
Disneyland.
short.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about
Funny.
social media, my number 4 pick, it's not really social media related. I guess it could be, is join reseller groups. Be it
Yeah.
Facebook or, there's so many. The podcast, there's the Trash to Cash guy. That Discord, it's been a lifesaver. You have a question or
100.
something, man, that's the greatest place on earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't be on YouTube or anything if I didn't join that Discord. I wouldn't have done anything because I didn't know any other resellers like in my area because I wasn't like, out there doing stuff, but it's just opened up so much. Like I've gone to those, like the reseller, like the reseller rally and the Planes to Profit.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have done any of that stuff. Yeah. So it's awesome. It's a good community.
There's so much information, and I like it. You're still competing for stuff, but it is a community. People are willing to help you if you're struggling with something, and everybody's just nice. And it's funny. I'm going to pull Ron on this one. I didn't even know what the hell a Discord was until I started listening to their podcast. And to be honest with you, I still don't really know what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We were down at our local grill, and her cousin's daughter. Somebody's got an intruder.
It's there must be a dog walking by in my front yard.
My wife's cousin's daughter. My phone opened up. And she goes, "You have Discord? What are you doing on Discord?" Like assuming like I was too old for Discord. I was like, "I'm only 43, Kate." And to be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm just on it for one thing.
As long as she didn't say, "What's this Tinder?"
Yeah, right. Then the group text goes, "Oh my God, do you see what he has on his phone?"
Yeah.
All right. Over to you for back-to-back number 4 and 5, Amy.
Oh my gosh. What was the last one you said?
Join
was it?
reseller groups.
Oh yeah. That's right. How about I put down a think beyond the obvious. Like if an item is broken that you bought, you can still part it out and probably make more money than you would have if the item was, intact. Because I do that all of the time. All the time. I just sold a handle to a boombox for $28.99 plus shipping, and it sold overnight, and I still have all the other parts to this boombox, and it's
I've
an
never
old
broken a
one. It's like a
boombox apart.
vintage. Say that again.
I said I've never broken a boombox apart to sell it for parts. I've done board games. I've done food processors, blenders. I've never done a boombox. I've done electronic wise. I've done turntables.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the tone arms and the platters and people reuse those. They're consumable, so they need to be replaced after so many uses.
I just brought a broken Budweiser lamp at the flea market on Sunday for $4. If it was intact, it's $140 piece. So I'm like, it's still a $35-$40 piece in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I've sold those blue Galaxy fans. Those ones from the 80s, I guess the 80s.
Oh yeah.
The blue blade
I've
ones.
parted those out. Yeah. I've parted those out, and I've made more money parting it out than I would have selling it whole. And it's easier to ship because
Yeah,
I don't like shipping big stuff. Like huge big stuff, Yeah.
Yeah. I sold. I tell people I sell everything. I said, including the kitchen sink. I sold tubs already.
I'm sure you sold one of those too.
Yeah. I don't do it anymore. I got a couple vacuum cleaners I need to get listed and some bikes, but they're like, again, they're towards my death pile. I just got to have time to get to them.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then number 5 there for you, Amy.
Okay. I put take quality photos, but don't overthink it. You can use your camera, your cell phone, but just make sure they're crisp and not, what do you call it? Wobbly, or how some of the pictures you flip through, they're like blurry and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, blurry. Yeah. Just take some good pictures.
I don't get nothing fancy. Like I don't do a light box or anything like that. I mean, I have my little photo wall here, but I don't care if that orange sign in the background's showing. I do care if I'm listing clothing. I have a photo board for clothing because you need it to pop out. Because I don't sell much clothing, but when I do, it goes on the photo board. Everything else sits on that table. Now the pictures are nice; they're clean. They're iPhone pictures, but I don't take the background out and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I just I have a permanent flat lay for clothing because I do sell a lot of clothes because I come across a lot of stuff. So that's that's all white and it looks good and clean and crisp. You can even get more money if your pictures look better than the other guys.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Plus, it also helps with if someone tries to do fraud.
Yeah.
I can send something back. I had a situation one time where the guy got a camera flash and it was brand new in the box. And the guy goes, it worked great for like the first 5 pictures and then it stopped. I said, fine, just return it. And I get it back and like what they call the hot shoe where it connects to actually be on top of the camera had a lot of wear. And then sure enough, I looked at the serial numbers on it. And my pictures were X and it was right there and it showed it. And I said to him, hey, you sent me the wrong flash. He goes, I only had your flash. Look, if you want your money back and me not having to call the local police, I said, you will return the flash or you will not get a refund. Now, technically, if he would have escalated it to eBay, they would have found in his favor, even though I provided pictures
Right.
and he sent me the wrong item.
Yeah. So what happened with that situation?
I didn't hear from him again after I threatened police. After I kept waiting for him to admit to it, and I gave him plenty of opportunities. And I finally said, you know what? You know, this is what's going to happen now. So you return the right thing, or I call the local police, because that's mail fraud. It's a federal crime.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a good threat, and people will back off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go with my last pick. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to go with know your numbers. I mean, you don't have to be, Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan Chase or anything like that. You don't need to be an accountant, but just know your numbers. If you're going to sell this thing for $100, know your numbers. If you're going to promote it, when then the eBay fees you use 20%, now you're down to 80. You paid 24, 60. Just know 60. You know what I mean? Don't buy something and lose money on it. It's okay to do it. I mean, you're going to make mistakes, but just know your numbers. Like, don't go out there buying something for $1, selling it for $5, because you're going to be underwater really quick and be disheartened, and you'll quit. And why can't I make no money? Just know your numbers. Don't promote it. I don't know. Just know your numbers. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do it. I mean, just know what eBay takes, know what you paid for it, and just keep in mind with the taxes at the end of the year. Just always know your numbers. It'll prevent you from getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And Ron, what do you want to round us out with?
I'm going to say start selling with something that you know, something that you're passionate about. If you like to fish, for example, and you got a tackle box of bass fishing lures, and you don't do bass because there's no rivers around you, you like your trout now. Well, start selling your bass stuff. Sell the fishing reels. Sell the fishing lures, the rods, whatever. Start with something you know, because someone's going to ask you a question. And if you have something on there you don't know anything about, and it's like a real generic listing, and just says, use fishing reel. And that's it. I mean, I see the listings like that all the time. Mm-hmm. And you wonder why their reel sells for 10, but everyone else's sells for 50. You need to know the product that you're selling to start with. So pick something that you're passionate about, something that you know a lot about. I mean, we all have hobbies. Look at that.
Golf clubs.
And for sourcing, I tell people, you have an attic, go through the attic, go through the basement, go into your closet. See that box you haven't even opened in the last 10 years? You forget what's in there? That's eBay right there.
Right. Yeah.
You haven't touched it in 10 years, you're not going to use it again.
Yeah.
And by now it's vintage and maybe worth money.
So we had a very good list. I put these all up on the screen in the post editing, all that good stuff, so people can see them as we say them. But I'll just real quickly go down some of the stuff on my other list. I won't get into detail, but like mindful shipping, we touched on. Research your sell-through rate, so you don't get stuck with a lot of crap that doesn't sell. Kind of contradicts one of yours, Amy. Avoid high risk. Don't be afraid to gamble. Like, now, I'm not saying go out there and spend a lot of money for something that might be a counterfeit or bad or broken, but don't be afraid to gamble every now and then. Hey, it's $5. The reward is 500, or it may be beyond repair. It's only worth 10. But don't be afraid to gamble sometimes. Plan your sourcing routes. That will save you money on gas and time. Shipping supplies. Plan. Dumpster dive. Buy your boxes. A big one.
Free boxes.
Oh, yeah. The priority mail free boxes. Mm-hmm. That's great. Like, if you're just starting, just ship everything priority mail and use free shipping boxes. In 3 months, you get the hang of it. You can venture off into other stuff. A big one is balance your time. You know, you're probably doing it. You probably have a family. Don't make it your life unless you have no life. Don't be afraid to liquidate. I mean, what was that?
That's
Amy?
easier said than done. Easier said than done.
I said that one.
You
Run
know,
some sales
I'm
on.
the person. If I can't go to bed at night, if there's something I need to pack, and I didn't get to it, like I spent all day yesterday moving my parents into a new home, and my back is just trash today. I mean, yeah, last night by the end of the night, I would bend over and it's popping like crazy. It's like feels like it's bone on bone. I really threw out my back, and I saw this big giant VHS beta player. And I swear the thing must have been 80, 90 pounds. And I'm like, okay, I packed up my paper items, my watches. You know, I got a couple Disney figurines I sold. I'm like, I'm just going to text this guy and email and to let him know. I was like, thanks for the purchase. I'm going to pack this up tomorrow morning, but it's still going to get out within 1 business days. I promise. I couldn't do it. I'm like, I got to pack this. If I don't, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to be laying in bed. I'll be watching TV. And that thing's going to sit in my head. Like, why didn't I pack this? What box am I going to use? You know, do I have enough bubble wrap for that size item? I'm like, I can't do it. I guess I'm anal retentive in a way.
Now, see, my light keeps acting up. Run some sales on smalls. I mean, I still look at that, try to start a campaign on running sales. It's confusing to me sometimes. So
I'll have to tell you how to do it. I run sales all the time.
Yeah, just run, like if you're going to start, just do it on small stuff or inexpensive stuff to get the hang of that.
My sales are based on length that are in my store.
Okay.
The older stuff's discounted more than the new stuff.
Market items on social media platforms. That always helps. If you already have a following, you're just getting into it, might as well just utilize that following. It's free.
Yeah.
I will say this: we are not financial people, so anything we've told you financial, don't take the advice. These are just tips that we've come across and used. Determine if you need an LLC or you want to remain sole proprietor. I mean, that's up to you. You know, your first year you just want to do sole proprietor, but your next year you may want to go LLC. You know. A big one I should have said was make sure you know if you need any licenses. So, like local licenses. A lot of people don't know that. Like, our township requires you to have a business license. You know, it's $30 a year for us. And you have to pay local taxes, which our local taxes are dirt cheap, but it's $30 a year. Just go talk to your municipality and get it done. And the big thing I have on the bottom of my list is help those who helped you. I mean, just ask. You know, Joe got me into this, and we met Ron at a local auction house, and just ask, because he may have ran into a problem that we have encountered. Hey, here's how we handled it, and vice versa. It's a time saver, big time saver,
mm-hmm.
and possibly money saver. So.
Yeah, because you can work with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all hang out. We all know what we all like to buy. And we're like, hey, I know you want this. I said, but I'll lay off this if you let me have this.
Like, I mean, Joe and I would go to an auction, you know, I'm like, hey, Ron, we're looking at like these 2 or 3 things. You know, we know this is your living, so we're not, whatever. You can have all of that. We're just interested in these 2 things. Then we're out of here. You know, I don't want to spend all day here. I'm just looking to get a couple small things for my store. You know,
what was that Christmas thing I laid off of that you got, and it sold for $100 at Cortier's? Some kind of, was it a tree topper? It was the.
Oh yeah, that was like I was trying to look that up the other month, and I forget. It was a Christmas tree topper, but the inside revolved, like it moved.
Yeah, I can't. I'm having a brain fart.
A revolving tree topper, maybe.
Was it vintage?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was like new in the box too.
Yeah, And like,
Wow.
like if we wouldn't have laid off, if we wouldn't have worked together, you know, I was doing 150 on it.
Yeah.
You know, we just would have ran it up on each other. Here it is.
Yeah,
It's called a celestial tree topper.
Yes.
Hmm.
What does that
And
look
the
like?
prices are down on them right now, but that's a good thing you can part out too. But completed, those things sell for $400 to $500.
Yeah, there it
Wow.
is. Yeah, it was so tacky looking.
Yep.
Um,
It's like a
Yeah,
motion
just work-
lamp for the tree, Christmas tree.
yeah, it just worked with people.
One Christmas, I put
Totally.
up a Christmas tree just because I was planning on selling it after Christmas. And I had all vintage ornaments and stuff on it. So I was able to take pictures right there. So when the Christmas was over, the listings were done. I just put the stuff up and sold it. If you that, yeah, you can take a picture of the tree in the box, but people want to see what it looks like when it's opened up,
Yeah, that's for sure.
especially in the aluminum ones.
Yeah, that's good.
So I have one question to ask everybody, and then I'll answer mine last before we end the show. If there was one thing that you would want help or are interested in getting help in your reselling business, what would it be? Like an area, like is there you want to know how to do this better or do that better? Amy, you're our guest. You can answer first.
I guess. Wow, that's a good question. These are good questions.
We try.
I would
We're
say-
just hillbillies from central Pennsylvania, but we come up with some doozies every now and then.
I guess it would be, growing my business to like where Ron is, basically. It sounds like his is doing great and booming, because it's,
I got slow days, don't get me wrong.
You have what?
I do have slow days. I mean, one day I'll sell $200, the next day it's $2,200. But my average day
but
is
you
$500.
yeah. But I mean the like knowledge, that you've acquired to buy like all those eyeballs and stuff like that, You can't
that's something
you can't buy that.
You can't buy that. You're right.
Right.
That comes with time and experience.
Yeah, it all comes with time. I mean, Ron, how long have you been doing it?
I joined in 2000. I started really selling for money probably 2002, 2004-ish. I had bought a Corvette with money, with stuff I sold off eBay. And then I started road racing it. And my wife was getting upset because I seemed to be going through like 3 sets of rear tires in a year. And she's like, we can't be using our commingled money anymore. So you need to keep doing your eBay if you want to keep putting money into your car and fixing it. So that's how I kept doing eBay.
So like 20, I mean, that's right there. That's 24 years of knowledge. I mean,
Yeah.
But I go out yard sale, and before I buy something, unless something I sold just recently, I still check comps all the time, especially if I'm spending $50 or more. I don't take risk. I know what kind of money I'm going to make before I buy it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's just time-based knowledge. I mean,
I'm very analytical. Like I said before, I used to be an IT manager. So I've been into computers all my life, and that's just, you got to be methodical, and really you got to dot your I's and cross your T's, because one little mistake, I mean, look what happened with crowdsource. I mean, it brought down airlines.
Yeah.
Because of an improper update wasn't fully tested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just knowledge. But that also comes along with joining groups. You get that. I mean, it took Ron 24 years to get that knowledge. You can obtain maybe a tenth of that knowledge in 2 weeks just by joining a group.
Yeah.
I mean, every night I'm flipping through Facebook. I think it's like I don't know what the hell the name is called. eBay thrifters or eBay reseller. Most of the time I scroll through, but sometimes never saw that before. Let me take a look at that. Now it's in the head. Next time I go out, it's back there.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
what would you say, Ron?
What was the question again?
If there was one thing that you would want help with
Oh,
or
that's simple.
learn to improve your reselling business.
I need to clone my brain. I would love for someone to do my listings for me, but it would probably take me twice as long to do a listing if someone else did it, because I'd have to go in, I'd have to make sure it's accurate and correct. Then if I don't like the pictures, I got to go and take new pictures. And by the time that's done, I got more time in the maintenance of actually double checking someone's work than it is what I could have done myself. Because everyone keeps telling me, actually, I've gotten people who call me liars because they think I got a team. No.
Yeah.
I work at home. Yeah, I work for myself. And this is all I do. And people are amazed that you can make money, but you got to be dedicated in what you do. You can't just say, I'm just going to list 4 items today, and then I'm going to take the rest of the day off and go hang out by the pool or go to the mall, go shopping or whatever. That doesn't make you the money. I got a pool. 2 years now we've had it. I haven't even been in it yet once.
I've been in Ron's pool more than Ron's been in his pool.
Yeah. I've never been in it. I never got in.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
That's crazy.
Boy, if they could just make
my mom and dad, they were throwing me off a diving board when I was 3 years old.
If somebody could do listings, that's obviously the word. And you'll learn it. For anybody new listening to this, you'll learn it. Listings suck. That's the worst part. I love shipping. I love packing stuff up because I don't buy a lot of complicated stuff to pack. It's the listings. Mm-hmm. Then you sit back, you get like 40 or 50 drafts ready. You're like, I feel so proud of myself. And then like 2 days later, the drafts are listed. Like, oh my God, I got to do this shit all over again.
No. See, you'd be like, oh my God, they all got bids. I got 50 things I got to pack on Sunday.
Doesn't bother me. Yeah, I love
one person buys 20 items.
Yeah.
Everything all in one box.
The same question itself, I would say, I don't know if it's really on a reselling thing, but it would help grow my business, would be learning more of the social media stuff. Like I can generically edit a video. That's not an issue. I like doing that. Creating thumbnails and posting it to Instagram. I don't understand all that. Like, I mean, I have Instagram. I'm so bad at it. Facebook's easy. I'm that stereotypical old guy, I guess.
Yeah, I am the old guy. I don't have any of that.
Facebook for life, you know.
I think it's going to hurt me in the future. I'm telling you now, it will.
Like, I don't even know how hashtags work. I put them in there. Apparently they work, but if somebody could just teach me that aspect, that's what I would want and need. How to do it easily. To me, it's a struggle. You know, like, oh man, I got to edit this thing for Instagram post, and then I look like these kids do. I mean, I work on a college campus. Like, this girl takes a picture of herself, take a picture of herself. Boom, on. Like, geez, can I do that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely you've got to have like a rhythm down of doing your social media. Yeah, I've got like a notes app page just with hashtags for certain stuff that I post, so I can just copy paste the hashtags into whatever I'm doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know we're like an hour and 24 minutes in. I mean, I'll edit some of it out, but all right, so we'll close this thing out. So, well, thank you all for joining us today. It was a great episode. Lots of wealth of information given out today, especially new, old. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've been in the game 15 years. I've learned stuff.
Mm-hmm. Got to learn something every day in this business.
15 years. I've learned something today from. I mean, Amy, so 4 years. I learned something from you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
4 years.
Next week, Ron won't be with us. I'm trying to get a hold of Dave again from Dave's Cleanouts down here by Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, to join us again. He'll probably do it. So he should be on the show next week. Join us on our socials. I try to keep up with them. Ron's Online Treasures is his eBay store. Mine's Susquehanna Picker on eBay, and Susquehanna Picker on YouTube, Susquehanna Picker on Instagram, all that good stuff. You can find Amy on Instagram at Beach by Repeat. Her eBay store is Beach by Repeat. You're still on the Flippin' Fantastic podcast, correct?
Yep. And my Beach by Repeat YouTube channel too.
Yep. Beach by Repeat YouTube, Flippin' Fantastic podcast with Mo. I believe it's 87 official. Great time to be a reseller. We're all in it together. I mean, we like to learn everything around the country. That's why I like it. That's why I actually joined that whole group, because I want to know what's going on in California and Minnesota and Texas and Florida, and everybody thinks Pennsylvania's the sweet spot. It's like, I don't know. Looking at this other stuff people are putting up there, I think they're the sweet spot.
I have friends that are, I call them snowbirds. They head down south for the summer. The winter. And definitely the central Pennsylvania area is great for picking. Down south, it's not good at all.
We do good up here, Ron.
Yeah.
I will say that. We do good.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Have you ever did the big yard sale down there in Virginia? Is it Virginia?
There is one that goes through like Shenandoah, but that's far from me. That's like 4 hours away.
Oof, yeah,
that's the only one.
You're obviously at the beach, so
that's up in the mountains.
Yeah. I think that was just this past weekend too.
Yeah, I just saw it. Came across my Facebook feed. What's the furthest you would travel, Amy, for a yard sale? Like a big, like obviously not a single yard sale, but like a highway sale, community yard sale, whatever.
30 minutes, 20 minutes, because I just, I live in a big city, so it's everything's right here. So if I have to leave like the 3 cities, that would be like really far for me, like in my mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Just you're dealing with traffic and everything else. And we travel routinely on weekends, like Harrisburg to Mechanicsburg's 10, 15 minutes, but it's so easy. But
yeah,
I don't travel far unless it's an online auction.
Yeah, Ron's a homebody, and he doesn't like to get up in the morning either.
No, it's I want to say the earliest I got to bed in the last week was last night, and that was around 2:30, and I was up again.
Wow!
Yeah, it's been a crazy week for me.
Well, you don't get to 5,600 listings by going to bed at 9.
I haven't done any listings all week.
I gotta get cracking on it.
That's a lot. I
I
have 1,900 in my store, but that's the most. The most I've had is like 1,953. So it's a lot.
I've had it to 700, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't do this. This is it's hot and heavy. Like shipping 10, 15 things a day. I mean, the money's great, but I was like, oh my god, I can't. I'm abandoning my family.
So. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Yep.
All right, everybody. Make sure you follow us on the socials. I'll put them up there on the screen as well. So enjoy your week. Enjoy the year. But Q4 is coming right around the corner. So I like to say, get that shit online. People want to buy it.
Yep.
All right. Until next week. Peace out. And thank you, Amy, once again for joining us.
We'll see you.
Thanks.